Good evening, friends and fellow travelers. It's Brandon and Ash and Winston and the baby are with me today. Today we are visiting Grand Marais, Minnesota. Looking out. There were a couple of people swimming further at the state park today. Yes. Our first look, standing by the rocky beach, over there to the old Coast Guard station and out to Artist Point and back into town. Fall colors back in the hills, back behind town. And the Lake Superior trading post over there. We ate really simple today, just a quick Dairy Queen, just a chicken strip basket. That would be nice though to eat up there on the rooftop. There is Ash. Our other video will feature 3 of the Minnesota state parks, and it's the same day. The sun's starting to come down. We've got a couple hours of light left before the sun starts to set here on the North Shore. Blue Water Cafe over there. There's a few places that you can really shop and do that sort of thing. However, the season is coming to an end, so running out of options for that. Beautiful place though. Walking back along the Lake Superior trading post. Never been in there. Have you been in there?
Yeah.
So that's where she got her yellow hoodie she's wearing from Grand Marais the last time she was visited. Looking back at town along with the sun coming down. Sailboats in. Getting their perhaps last one or last of a couple future sails before it frosts and winter takes over pretty quickly here. But it's a beautiful evening, and you can look up and see all the fall colors. That's what gets me. All the yellows. Starting to see some reds up there. It's not peaking yet, but it's gonna be soon. You can tell. Sitting right up on the actual water temperature. In typical Lake Superior fashion, very chilly. Even though it's in the upper 60s, there's a cold wind. They have a gale advisory also, but very beautiful. Sitting up on the actual water. Winston's enjoying himself. Having a drink of Lake Superior, I guess. Was trying to pull me over to another dog, but didn't work. Love the sailboats out this evening. Just enjoying the last glances of summer. We had Winston over to the left to behind the buildings of where we are. It was a different side of the beach, and he was digging in the rocks himself, so I wouldn't put it past him to start. Walking back through town. Something you don't see every day is a Ben Franklin. There's a food truck there. I just can't get over the hill in the background with the with all the fall colors. You know, we're not seeing that as much down south yet. Walking back towards where we're parked so we can get the carrier to go out to Harvest Point. Then an old people. That's one we wanted to try but never have. And then Beaver House. Moose Tracks Clothing and the market. So lots of different outlets here. Shops you can go in, especially during peak times. And And then World's Best of Donuts also, it's never open when we come here, so we've never tried it. Both times we've been to Grand Marais, it's not been open. Understandably, the first time was in late winter, early spring, so just wasn't time yet. In front of us, East Bay Suites. Now that was recommended to us as a lodging option by Dwayne. Now Dwayne, if you're watching, I appreciate the recommendation. We will check that out in the future, on a future visit. Definitely when we plan to stay in Grand Marais and get up to Grand Portage and everywhere else. So there's Drury Lane Books. Cool little shop. And that is right next to the other side that I was mentioning before, where we walked out to the water, or walked out onto the beach, and Winston was digging up rocks himself. Is that her? That gentleman, if they caught it on camera, had the same camera as me, same GoPro. So, funny capture there. Looking out, back up north. Actually rock in this, or some sand in this portion, but mainly still rock. As the waves crash in, the sun starts to set. It's going to be a pretty evening here in Grand Marais. Seagulls flying over. Looking back up north with all the fall colors. And I'll have to see. This is right where Mr. Winston was digging before, on the beach. Back when it was much colder. I'm waiting to see if he's gonna dig. Oh, he's looking for that spot. I think he smells himself. But what a background for Winston to be able to just be here as well. But that East Bay Suites backs right up to the water there, that red and white building. So if we do decide to stay there when we stay in Grand Marais, I'll owe it to Mr. Dwayne if you're watching this video again. We'll let you know how it goes. Beautiful evening, upper 60s. The wind makes it chilly. But still nice, still pleasant. There's the Coast Guard building again. We love this town. But I can't wait to see what's up that way. What's further north of Grand Marais in the last 35 to 40 miles that there are. It's some number in the 30s, close to 40. So you know what, whatever. But I can't wait to see what's further up in that direction. But we can see going up towards Canada more. Approaching Artist Point as the golden hour starts to set in. And then, wow, did we pick a good time. You can see clear as day. The views only get better, in my opinion. Really enjoying this evening. And then looking back across the parking lot, to that park we were at, and back up to the hilltop. Now, there was something of note up there on the hilltop for Grand Marais that I don't recall exactly what it was. But there's their 360 view here in Grand Marais as we're approaching Artist Point. Starting to get close to the Coast Guard station here. With all the seagulls camped out on it. Looking back across the water. Can't get over the hills though. And Charlotte in typical October fashion with her Charlotte Joe pumpkin blanket. Back behind the Coast Guard building. Pretty cool building itself. There's a very narrow walkway along the water that you can go out near and get to a small little lighthouse, if you will. And here we are getting close to Artist Point, part of the Superior National Forest. Natural history of the point. Of course, the evening colors across the rocks there. Pause it if you'd like to read there. Natural history of the point. Last time we were here, there was no foliage as it was still cold, very cold at the time. But all these plants jumping out at us are not here. Now here's kind of the levee looking structure that you walk up on. Again up against Lake Superior. And it does go all the way out to a lighthouse. There's something different about it at this time of the day though. Evening colors start to set in. Walking along the narrow path out to the lighthouse. There's a beautiful ship out there with red sails. Kind of makes me think about missing that sailboat festival that we wanted to go to out in Duluth, down in Duluth from here. See if we can more closely capture. Beautiful area, especially. We just never seen it at this time of day. I think a first for us at sunset here. It's going to be probably going to be a pretty foggy sunset, but still probably beautiful. Looking towards Artist Point. Seagulls in flight. You can probably see that ship in the distance on the video there with the red sails.
Oh no.
Continuing on. Climbing up the rocks to get up higher. The little details. Even seeing the roads go up through town out there. Winston. And there's that boat taking off that I was talking about. You can see it better with the red sails right there. It's a small guy, but very beautiful. If you want to see the pictures of it, make sure to follow us over on Instagram, where you see a more photogenic side of our adventures. Starting to turn pink out there where the sun's going to come down. Sun's starting to come down. Starting to get more colorful out there. Looking back off at the village and the long walkway. Not truly that long, but long in the sense that you are walking along this narrow little concrete slab towards that little lighthouse right there. And that boat with the red sails is almost out of frame. Photography fellows gathering for sunset. And perhaps that would be us if it wasn't the video time. We've been out here. Now you can't get to the top of this one like you could at the Split Rock Lighthouse that we saw in last week's video. However, it doesn't make it any less serene. Very special. So many people out here at sunset. It's kind of sad that sunset's at 6:30 now. But that's what happens with winter. And now coming into range is the actual light tower. Lighthouse, light tower. Not really so much a lighthouse, just because it's really so small. But Winston has made this trek out here at least twice. Twice with me. Lots to see here in Grand Marais. Recommending it for all. Those pinks starting to show up. I hear a drone. I don't see the drone, but I hear a drone. Everybody's gathering for sunset, even though the sun is now gone behind the clouds. Should pop back out though briefly. It's a beautiful area. Some more captures from a beautiful northern Minnesota sunset. That sailboat barely visible anymore. Everybody's enjoying it here. People getting engaged tonight while we're here. Congratulations to them. Enjoying the ambiance of the situation. And now we made it out to the light tower. Again, I'm coining that because it's really, I mean, I guess it is a lighthouse in a sense. But not huge. It is a lighthouse. The more you look at it, but small compared to some others that we've witnessed. Somebody out there rowing. to enjoy the sunset. Everybody recreates in their own way, though. From the waves. Too bad you can't actually go up there.
There's a little ladder. Well, I'm not worried that I die or never get back.
Drone right there to the right of the Coast Guard building. I was almost certain heard it flying overhead. Probably impossible to see from this angle, but it is there. Sun getting ready to come down through the clouds over there, starting to produce some more light. Making it all kind of a pinkish orange tint. And there's my Ash, hanging out with Charlotte, trying to keep her away from others in as much as possible.
That person's still rolling?
Starting to get more and more bright over there as the sun gets ready to come down through the clouds. It's almost there. Ash was inquiring about the gentleman that was out there rowing. She said she didn't see him, so pulled the other camera out and zoomed it all the way up, and he's indeed out there just enjoying the sunset, as many of us are, in such a beautiful space. More bright every time I look over that way. We'll see what happens as it comes through the clouds. I'm going to start heading back towards Artist's Point, though. Hard to see the sun from here on the camera, but surely you can see all the colors. Quite the sunset, and a great end to the day, traveling all through northern Minnesota. Friends, that just leaves me filled with joy and calmness. It almost can prepare me to work for another week. Just stunning. And it just stretches all the way across the light from the sunset. One more look at the northern Minnesota sunset. Tons of people out here to enjoy the rest of the night. We've got a long drive home, so we'll be driving home late into the night, but it was worth it. It's worth it to be here.
Winston's like, what the heck is that? He thinks it's a big bug.
Someone flying a drone right above us.
What is that, Winston?
So the buzzing sound of the drone is
Winston's like,
captivating. Well, friends, after that captivating sunset, we're gonna head back. The sun is just now crossing the horizon now. We're walking back along the rocks here, close to Artist Point, right by the Coast Guard building. Trying to get Winston to, there he goes, getting Winston to go across with me. I'll show you, minus my hand. The rest of the view going back. Sun down. Traversing some rocks. And there's the moon coming out. Sun down, moon out. We didn't walk the trails over there at Artist Point today, just because it was close to sunset and we wanted to witness that, but right over here on that island that they call Artist Point, some beautiful views you can get on the northern side of that island from walking to the other end. They have a couple of trails that go through the woods of that island that you can absorb the sights of. It's a beautiful location. Heading back through the fauna as the last lights from sunset settle back by the Coast Guard building. And we'll get back and call it a day. Beautiful location. That is just a stalwart of, that is the seagull stalwart up there. They just don't leave that location evidently on a nice day, as they are still there. Friends walking past Drury Lane Books again, looking over at the moon across Lake Superior. We're gonna head home tonight, get back to see the kiddos tomorrow. What an amazing day. You'll see it in 2 videos. Our first video of the road to Grand Marais leading up. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. It's got a few different locations, Minnesota spots to check out on the North Shore. Now, it's not the guide. That's not the, I'm going to be clear that that's not the per se Minnesota North Shore guide. However, it is a few great recommendations. With that being said, I'm not saying it's the guide because we left a lot of things out. So that being Palisade Head, the Black Sand Beach, because when we went to Black Sand Beach, we had it on the schedule, but it was so busy that it just wasn't even worth a stop, because by that time it was already noon. So we didn't make the stop there, but we plan to get back. Temperance River State Park we plan to visit. I plan to get north of Grand Marais and go all the way up to Grand Portage and do another video or 2, depending on what is up there. I know there's a Grand Portage State Park, and that massive waterfall that you see on all the Minnesota pages is up there. So there's a lot to come as far as things to do in Minnesota. I mean, you have Jay Cook State Park that we've been to but never filmed at. You have Cascade River. You have Manitou State Park. There's just so many, countless places to go. And we can't wait to share all of them with you. And then maybe once we go to all of them, we can do a North Shore guide, potentially. So With that being said, we're gonna head home. I hope you all have an amazing week. Thank you for watching both of our North Shore videos. We sincerely appreciate all the support. Thanks for sticking with us over our paternity and maternity leave from work, and for a little hiatus from YouTube and social media as a result. So thank you for sticking with us. We're back. We're ready to get back to making content for you, along with baby Charlotte now. So for Ash, for the kiddos, for Winston, it's Brandon. And I hope you continue to get out and adventure, because this world, it just needs to be seen as the waves from Lake Superior rustle around in the background. Have an amazing week. We can't wait to see you on the next one.